Hi, this is Golf 1 Zulu Hotel Delta, Adam, and I'm here to talk about HamAwards. I'm going to split this into three parts. The first part is, well, what is HamAwards? Second part is, well, how I operate using HamAwards, and a demonstration in the third part. In this first part, I'm going to be covering where it started for me, um, what is HamAwards in a little bit of detail for those who don't know, and when it is used. So starting with where it started for me, back in January 2022, I was using my radio, as you do, and came across this a QRZ page for a particular call sign, and II0WRTC. And it was quite interesting to me to see the amount of information that was on there, and there were additional buttons on there and on the QRZ page showing me this particular event. On the page, I could see that there was these buttons called cluster, score listing, statistics, award info, and award rules. This isn't the actual QRZ page for what I saw back in 2022, but it's the same event, but this one was took place in January 23. When I clicked on the cluster button, it gave me some information. It was showed me online stations. So it would give me the name of the special event station, the band it was on, and the mode it was operating in. It also tell me who the operator was for that particular call sign. In some circumstances, those call signs were operated by multiple operators. In the second part of the QRZ page, it got a DX cluster, and that was filtered particularly for the similar call signs, and it was actually the call signs that were taking part in that same event. And then thirdly on that page was a list of the top, I think it was about 20 QSOs. So I could see who had been logged against which of those call signs at what time and what their signal report was. At this particular event, the WRTC was the World Radio Sport Team Championship of 2022. When I clicked on the rules, it gave me lots of different information, and it told me that the event was running from the 1st of January to the 30th of June, that there were 12 special Italian call signs involved. And actually, these 12 were linked to one for each of the provinces within Italy and Sicily and Sardinia. The event was operated across 9 bands from 10 meters up to 160 meters, and on 4 modes being CW, FT8, SSB, and RTTY. And the event was being held over those months and was being scored on a monthly basis. And what I mean by that you were only allowed to contact each station on each mode on each band once per month. But of course, the following months it reset and you could have another go. This event was then followed by what was called a sprint event, which happened from the 1st of July to the 7th of July. And that was a daily scored event where you could contact that each call sign on each band on each mode once every day. Then coming back to the QRZ page, the other buttons were, for example, score listing. And for each of the months and for overall, this told you what your position was within the scoring table. So each time you completed a QSO, it would automatically log, or the activator would log it, and it would automatically come through within a few seconds into the scoring table. So you'll see on the right hand side, you'll see that I did a search on my call sign, and it told me for across each of the months which modes I'd operated in which bands against which of the call signs. And here is an example of a more recent event that's taken place. But you'll see on here you've got those buttons where you can go into the rules, for example. It shows you all the stations that are on air at that particular time. It will show you your DX cluster filtered for the stations that are operating on that particular event award, and it will give you the top 20 last QSOs. And you'll see on there the modes, the signal reports, the date and time it happened on UTC, and the station that that particular operator contacted. For most, if not all of these types of award events, you get a certificate at the end of it. So it's just a downloadable PDF or picture file, and but they're usually quite pleasant, and it's nice to win a few awards once in a while if you're into these type of award events. So in summary, the HamAward platform controls all of this. And even though I've said here it's a new contesting format, as I say, it's been happening since 2022, but it's not really all that well known. It's used more in Italy than it is anywhere else. But come this January, there is a worldwide event that's been hosted by Great Britain, which I'll touch on in a moment. So what you're doing is you're chasing the special call signs that have been set up for that particular event. It'll either occur, well, those call signs will either be within a specific country or they'll be across multiple countries. The event may be for a number of days, a number of weeks, or even a number of months. There'll be multiple HF bands. Not all of them go up to 160 meters. Some of them are usually are on 10 meters up to 80 meters. They all work on a basis of instant QSO confirmations, so you can watch the screens and see your QSO being confirmed. A couple of times I've had it where they haven't been confirmed, so I've had to recontact them again. Also, in some of them, it is very much dependent on the activator having a good internet connection. If they have internet issues and it doesn't update straight away, but in most cases it does. Instant scoring with online positioning, and it's really good because it means that you straight away you don't have to wait to you don't have to upload your logbook to anywhere and wait months to see where you actually turn up. It's instant positioning. It all operates on this HamAward.cloud platform, which is you can get to through any browser. And as I say, mostly so far it's mostly been Italian contests or Italian awards that have been using it. But as I say, in 2025, great GB will be using it as well. It doesn't cost you anything. There is a subscription that you can sign up to that gives you some more functionality, which I'll touch on another part of the presentation. The people who pay usually are the people who are hosting the event. So for that particular award, they pay to use the HamAward.cloud platform. And even though it's like any contest, it's a quick contact. You're not really having a QSO with people. From time to time, you get to know different voices, and they get to know you if you're reasonably high in the league tables. And sometimes you have a little bit of a chat, but usually there's a pile up for these stations. It's very, very active at times, particularly at weekends. So since 2022, there's been about 38 events happening on this platform. And again, as I say, most of them have been Italian. And yeah, in 2022, this is just a list of some of the events that's been happening. So, as I say, back in 2022, there was the January to July event for the World Radio Sport event. And then in March in that year, there was the Italian Navy Coastal Radio Stations Award, which happens annually. It happened in 2023 and 24. And in 2022, there was the 150th anniversary of the creation of Alpine Corps. And you'll see in 23 that the WRTC took place again in 2023. And the Italian Navy QRP Radio Station Award took place. As I say, these are just a few of them, and some of the ones which I took part in myself. And this year, in 2024, which probably isn't this year for some people watching this video, the Worldwide Award took place in Italy. With mostly Italian stations. There was in April to July, there was the Marconi 150th award. And July, there was the sprint for the Worldwide Awards, for the Worldwide Award. And then in October to December, one which I'm currently involved in as I speak, was the centenary of the Italian radio broadcasting. So that was a 3-month event. In January in 2025, there will be the Worldwide Award, as mentioned, which is being hosted by Great Britain. So just to give you an idea of what happens in the Worldwide Awards, so during the month of January 2024, as I say, the Worldwide Award was hosted by the Italians, and it was 40 special call signs from 19 different countries. It wasn't just Italian call signs, although 12 of them were Italian call signs. There was a number of other countries involved, including the UK, including GB. It were operated over 8 bands and 5 modes, and it was scored on a daily basis. So you could get the same call sign on the same mode, on the same frequency each day. There were over 100,000 hunters, as they call them, people who were involved in it, and over 1.175 million of QSOs were conducted during that period of time, which is a hell of a lot. And 253 countries had operators who were working these stations. During the week of July, there was the sprint event that followed. This was 33 special call signs over 18 countries, 12 of which were Italian call signs. It was for 8 bands and 5 modes again, and this one was also scored on a daily basis. For the sprint, there was 50,000 hunters. 310,000 QSOs were made, and 212 countries were involved in it. To give you some idea of one of these worldwide award events, this is a spreadsheet which I'll touch on the next part, which I've used to take note of all the contacts and QSOs I've made to make sure that I don't duplicate on a weekly, monthly, or daily basis. So we'll touch on that a little later, but not everybody will want to do this. Some people will do it manually, but there is also another option that you can use to try and minimize the amount of administration to keep your header a good record of what you're doing and make sure you don't duplicate. So that's the end of part one. So we've touched on where I started using HamAwards, what it is, when it's used and how often it's used. And so in the next part, we'll be going into how I actually operate and how I've used it so far. With, as I say, a third part, which we'll be doing. I'll be doing some demonstration of how it works. So I hope that was good. Please leave comments for me on how I can improve these short videos. And if you have any questions, then please let me know. G1s at HD.